Good afternoon, everyone. Andy Jacob here with the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. What a fascinating show today. I've been able to book a very important guest, Mr. Jason Maleka. And Jason is the founder and CEO of the GALXEE Group. And he has a very, very unique offering going on right now. I was so excited to get Jason on the phone. He is what we call a small business recovery specialist, and he's got so much to say about helping B2B businesses. He's out of Colorado, Denver, Colorado. He's an author, he's a publisher, he's a writer. He's published 4 books already in his career. He's been a professional golfer. He's got such a great background. But we really want to talk about this small business recovery specialization that he's brought to market. It's really unique, very interesting. Jason, thank you so much for coming on the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Andy. Yeah, that was a very good introduction. Thanks.
You're welcome, Jason. And obviously, when someone goes to your website and they check you out, they know that you have a very interesting and unique look on the world. It's such a wonderful thing to go through your website. It's so colorful and it's so interesting, and the writing is so amazing, and it gives a little glimmer into what you do at the GALXEE Group. But Jason, let's pull the lens back to 30,000 feet to start and tell us about the GALXEE Group.
Okay, great. Well, we've been helping clients and prospects, for about, I would say, close to 4 years now. And we've helped over 30 businesses actually, grow and become the businesses that they wanted to be when they first started. So it's been great. And I mean, some of these clients that we have now, we've had since the beginning even too. So as small business recovery specialists, because of this pandemic that hit, the COVID and everything, with that, we have to help these businesses recover. So we're not only into just making money and stuff like that. We want to actually help people. So that's the main goal, is actually helping these businesses not just get back to what they were, but to get back to what they were and some. So we want to make sure that these businesses are getting their old clients back. They're, for example, if it's the restaurants or something like that, we want to make sure they're getting their old clients back, the old customers in the door, the old regulars or whatnot, and go from there. That's ultimately what we want to do, because those relationships that they created with their customers, we want to help bring back as well too. So, and that COVID stuff, man, everybody knows that kind of ruined a lot of stuff for everybody. So that's it's unfortunate, but we're very, I think, unique, and I haven't seen a lot of other businesses out there that are doing what we do. So it's something that we can help a lot of businesses on, a variety of them. And then we also do on the side as well too. Of course, we were a digital marketing agency as well. So we still have all of that ability as well too. So, but we do small business recovery specialists now too.
I love it, Jason. Obviously, you have so much expertise in Facebook advertising, SEO, sales training. You've been able to help your clients rank so high in Google, and of course, help them close so many deals. But really, through the pandemic, you pivoted a little bit, and you decided to really say to yourself, let's help small businesses with their sales, with this small business recovery specialty that you're calling it. And I know you've got a secret sauce, you've got a secret lead source. I know you can't expose it, but let's talk about it a little bit, because I know so many small businesses need to recover. They need to come back. And sometimes just going to someone that's a regular digital agency, perhaps, they're not getting this specialty where someone like you took all of your expertise, you took all of your team's world-class knowledge and experience, and you put it toward one thing and one thing only, which is to really help these small businesses recover. So, Jason, when we talk about this recovery, let's define that. What does that mean? Is this a business-to-business play, which I think it is, and how important is for these companies to recover now after the pandemic?
Oh, that's great. Actually, As far as it is a business to business, we're helping as many people as we can, many businesses as possible, in other words, too. So, and the main thing that we're helping them with is bringing back those customers that thought they would have gone out of business or something like that. So those customers of our clients think, that would think if they went out of business or they're not in business anymore, we want to get those customers back for our clients. So that way, it creates those relationships again and brings that relationship back, because there's so many restaurants that have closed, unfortunately. And I mean, huge restaurant chains, unfortunately, too. And some of them are coming back, some aren't. And we want to make sure that since they are coming back, we have to get those regulars back for them, or we have to get those clients in the booths for them and stuff or those customers in the booths for them and stuff. So that's ultimately our goal. And that's the start of it. And then once we get that started for them, then we build from there and then we go from there. But ultimately, that's what we want to do.
I love it so much, Jason. It makes all the sense in the world. The pandemic has changed so many businesses, so many small businesses. And the way in which you're helping these small businesses is not in a typical way. It's in a new way. And that's what really caught our eye at DotCom magazine, because it appears that your offering is very unique and it's different than what anybody else is doing right now. And I know that some of the secret sauce you can't disclose, but what I do love about what you're offering is that you guarantee your work. So any small to medium-sized business that wants to recover their clients and continue on a wonderful path after the pandemic, Jason and his team are really the people to talk to and to reach out to. Let's talk just a little bit about this 100% money back guarantee that you give, because it's very interesting. You have clients come to you, you give them a free consultation, you guarantee the work. Let's talk about that a minute, Jason, because that's very intriguing.
Yes, definitely. We started doing that with, if you're not happy, not 100% satisfied, you get 100% money back. What that actually evolved into, and my entire staff thought I was crazy for doing this, but what it evolved into was you name your price. So basically what we're doing now is we do all the work for them and for our clients and everything that way. So then after a month, if we didn't bring any results to them, then they're not going to pay us a dime. I wouldn't, for example. So, but if we did bring them results, which we have for every single, I would say 99.9% of our clients. I think one time we didn't, but then the next month we did anyways, but different story. So as far as with that goes, when we bring the results to the clients, they get to name their price. If they want to pay us $5, if they want to pay us 500, 5,000, whatever they want to pay us, they can pay us. And it all depends on really what they can afford at the time as well too. And then, the next month it could go up, and go from there. So it's really up to them. And we left it up to them. And my entire staff thought I was nuts to do this, but it's worked out for us. So we haven't had anybody pay us $1 or anything like that. So it's been nice. And I mean, it seems like the clients, it gives them more of it relaxes them a little more. It doesn't make them stressed out, because there's enough stress out there with this COVID stuff, and we don't need that. They don't need that. So neither do we. So as far as with the payment stuff like that goes, if that happens, that's what it evolved into, is that 100% money back guarantee. It evolved into that. So we're still doing that. If some things, I mean, there's a few other projects that we have going as well too, that we do give 100% money back as well too, if they're not satisfied. But as far as I know, every single one has been satisfied, because I haven't had to give any refunds.
That's amazing, Jason. So that's great. And obviously that's very unique. That's what we call a USP, a unique selling proposition. It's really a remarkable offering that you've been able to put together, Jason. I love it so much. As a small business recovery specialist, it makes all the sense in the world. And one thing also that I really love about what you're doing at the GALXEE Group is you want people to give you a try. You want people to call you. You want people to reach out to you. You set aside some time. You put together 15 minutes for them. You get on the phone, because obviously with this type of a guarantee that you offer, you want to make sure also that it's the type of customer that you want to work with and fits within your portfolio and fits within your area of expertise and your world-class team's area of expertise. So let's talk about that a little bit, because you have people that call you. They want to know, hey, what's going on with this? I've heard about this. This is incredible. You're a small business recovery specialist. It's really unique. I heard you on the DotCom magazine show or one of the other places. I've read one of your books perhaps, and I really want to get into this because I know you're an expert on sales and I know you can help my business out, Jason. So what does that 15-minute call look like? Is it mostly you asking them questions to sort of get into it to determine whether you can help them out?
Exactly. That's basically what the 15 minutes is to dive deep into finding out what their pain point is, what they need the most. In other words, what they need help with the most, and to find out, it's kind of hard to explain, but the point is that they're not going to just come in and say, hey, this is what we want. Nobody knows exactly what they want when they're trying to get marketing done or when they want to get the recovery done like that we offer and everything like that, because they don't know. They don't know what is going to happen. And so that's what we have to try to find out, is what exactly is it that they want? And then we can determine what they need from what they want, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world, Jason. And of course, you mentioned about the restaurant space. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that a little bit, because restaurants have been hit very hard. The restaurant industry's been hit very, very hard. There's a lot of chefs and line cooks and servers that are trying to work their way back in, as well as the restaurant owners as well. There's a number of vacant spaces, unfortunately, that will become filled up with more restaurants and newer restaurants and maybe a new iteration of the existing restaurant that was there prior. So it's all going to work its way out, I'm sure. But right now, let's talk about that from your perspective, Jason, of what you can do for restaurants as part of your business recovery.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you asked that. I was a bartender myself for close to 15 years, and it was good up until, I'm sure I think COVID started about 3 years ago. So I was just right out of bartending basically when COVID hit, and I have friends and everything that were doing it, and they're struggling. It was tough because they had to rely on the government, unfortunately, to do that, to get them money and everything that way because of unemployment and so forth that way. So with the money that the government is giving them is what's helped them through that. But once that stops, they have to get a job. And so that's what their thought is. They're going to get the job, but there's just not enough restaurants right now that are open. And there's not enough, there's enough space right now. But I would say that as far as being enough restaurants, what's going to happen, like you said, is that there's going to be more that open and so forth that way. But the government is what is giving the money to get those restaurants open. And that's exactly what we look to. That's kind of a hint where we get our leads from. And that's exactly what we look to see if they need the help with the small business recovery. So if they're going to open up a restaurant, we can also do that as well too. We'll help them open a restaurant or something like that, because my background in restaurants does help that as well too. So as a small business recovery specialist, we can get into that as well.
That's awesome. So when we think about recovering businesses, we think about entrepreneurs who really have had, a challenging time through this pandemic. We talk to so many entrepreneurs who have had to make pivots through the pandemic, and now, God willing, we're coming out, and many of the pivots that the entrepreneurs have made are coming through very, very nicely, and they're doing very, very well. And others, well, maybe not so well, but we expect obviously good entrepreneurs to figure it out and keep moving forward in their lives. So when we think, Jason, about entrepreneurship, you speak to so many entrepreneurs on the phone, you engage with so many entrepreneurs. What's the big pain point right now? Is the pain point that they're having a tough time because they don't have enough customers, or is the pain point perhaps they don't have enough money in the bank to keep the business going. What's the big pain point that you're seeing amongst the entrepreneurs right now that you're speaking with?
I've seen a lot is time. Like the time that they have right now, they seem that they've lost a lot of time, in other words, because of that. So it's not so much of the customers and getting more customers, because that's starting to come around and that's good. So it's starting to get back to normal slowly. But right now, I think they want to be, most of the entrepreneurs I've talked to is they want to feel that COVID didn't happen and that they want to be back in the spot that they were, and because of COVID, they've lost a lot of money, obviously. And so it's slowly getting back to normal. But I mean, as far as the time situation goes, it seems like that they, kind of hard to explain, but they don't really have the time because of COVID and everything like that. So they lost a lot of time, in other words. So that's what it seems like.
Yeah, well, losing time is something that you can never get back, and that makes all the sense in the world. But a lot of entrepreneurs have used the time to try and figure out what's going on in their business. And we found that a lot of entrepreneurs, even though they lost a lot of time, they were able to use that time wisely to try and figure out how to move their business forward, how to pivot, how to do something different, how to make action steps that are going to improve their company. And I know that you're an expert in all of those things at the GALXEE Group. Now, Jason, let's talk a little bit about the GALXEE Group, because I know you've surrounded yourself with some world-class experts. When I go on the website, it's so fun and so bright and so engaging. Where did all that come from? And you have a great sense of humor as well. Where did all that come from? Is that because you want to keep it fun and sort of highbrow for the people that come to the website and for your customers?
That's great that you asked me that. I have a mentor of mine. He told me, he asked me when I first did this website, this was, 4 years ago, something like that. And I first did this website and he asked me, he's like, why don't you calm down on that color? And I said, well, why? I said, well, you should make it more whites and a little more grays and stuff. I was like, so boring is what you want. You want me to be boring? He's like, just like everybody else. I was like, why do I want to be like everybody else? So yeah, that's why I have the color and the pinks and the greens and the golds and all that stuff on there. And it's fun, it really is. And I found that you either love it or you hate it. I mean, I've even had clients tell me after they become a client that my website looks very unprofessional or there's this and that. And I'm just, I've heard it all, and I like it. And I've had other people like it as well too. And that's all that matters really, is if I like it, that's what matters. And I did this a long time ago with that. I mean, right now, I think I have 14 different websites and all of them are about the same like that. They're all different colors and different color schemes. So with the golf kings that I have as well too, that's all different colors, cartoons, playing golf, stuff like that. It's fun. That's what we want to do is try to keep it lively, keep it fun. Instead of nobody wants to open up a website and see the same boring stuff. No offense to all the other entrepreneurs out there that have websites and stuff, but it's kind of all the same out there. So I wanted to be different,
I love it. I love it. It makes all the sense in the world. And really it's what's behind the website that's very important. Obviously someone will come and they'll say, wow, Jason's got a great sense of humor. This is something unusual. It stands out from the crowd. And oftentimes in digital marketing, that is really a very important thing to do with how we're bombarded so much with so many different messages that if you can stand out from the crowd, it really makes sense. And what's behind the website is what you're able to do with the companies that you work with and what you're able to do with giving this 100% satisfaction to your clients, which is unbelievable. The people on your team thought you were crazy to give it out, but you did it anyway because, again, you stand out from the crowd, and when the pack is running one way, you turn your head and you run the other way, of course. So that makes a lot of sense in the world. And all of your customers have been very satisfied with this 100% guarantee that you offer. You really give a bright looking future to your customers, and it's really, really amazing. And more importantly than that, unique selling proposition that we talked about, you also offer a free 15-minute consultation that I'm sure goes longer than 15 minutes, Jason, once somebody gets into it with you and you start asking the questions to help you dive into their company's pain points, that allows you the opportunity to figure out with your background and experience exactly what you and your team at GALXEE can do for that company as a small business recovery specialist, which is super, super cool. Now let's change the dynamic a little bit, Jason, of our conversation, because I wanted to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. And before we talk about entrepreneurship, however, we want to talk about golf, because you are a professional golfer. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's a lot to learn from being a professional athlete. You know, as a professional athlete, things always don't go your way. Sometimes in golf, you slice one or you hook one or you hit it in the water, you go in the sand trap. Even the best golfers in the world do it. Phil Mickelson does it. So when you're on the golf course and you hit an obstacle, that's the same type of thing that happens to an entrepreneur sometimes, that they hit an obstacle. So what can you take from your professional golf career about overcoming obstacles, and teach our entrepreneurs watching the show about how they can engage with or get around the obstacles that they're having in their business?
That's a good question. I like that. That's, playing golf is all about having no short-term memory. That's it. Because if you can forget about your last shot, then that's exactly what you want to do. Because Jack Nicklaus even said it the best too, when he was, oh my gosh, I don't remember what year it was, but he won the British Open he lost the British Open in a playoff because he ended up three-putting on number 18. And so in the interview, they asked him what happened on the three-putt on 18. He said, I never three-putt. I've never three-putted in my life. What are you talking about? And so they were confused. They didn't know what he was talking about, but that's what his thought. He actually truly believed that he never three-putts. And so that's, in golf, you have to have that short-term memory, because it has to be gone out of your mind, and then you focus on the next shot. Entrepreneurship is the exact same way. You have to, I have failed at least 10 different businesses that I've started. And before this, I started at least 10, and they all just bombed. And we don't talk about those because those are obviously in the background and nobody really likes to talk about those. But it's okay. It is what it is, because I like to say that success, actually, there's a 4-step success part. If you have to, step 1 is you're going to dream it. So you're going to actually think about it. You're going to make sure that's, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. Step 2 is your plan. So you're going to plan out how you're going to get to that. And then step 3 is going to be take action. If you're going to take action, then that's huge. 99% of the people do not take any action. And that's where everybody fails. That, not everybody, 99% of the people are not going to take any action. They're just going to dream about it and plan it out the entire time. So after you take action, step 4 is fail. Because step 4, this is all to success too. Step 4 is fail. You will fail. But if you think about it, the counterpart to failure is success. And so, because if you fail enough times, you're guaranteed to have some success eventually. So that's what my path to success is those 4 steps. Is you're going to fail, and then one of these days it's going to happen and you're going to succeed, and then things will be great for you. So just try not to think about all the failures you've had, like I said, the short-term memory loss kind of thing, and just focus on what's ahead of you. Stay focused on what's the next step, in other words. So that's the best.
I love it so much. That makes all the sense in the world, Jason. There's no successful entrepreneur that hasn't had a past that has been filled with failures or disappointments or challenges. Some people will call them opportunities for improvement or opportunities. Any way you look at it, they're all the same. They're opportunities to get better. And I call them mini Harvard MBA events, because when you're going to Harvard and you're getting your MBA, the professors are trying to teach you in an educational system about how to be an entrepreneur and how not to make mistakes and what to do and how to pivot in an educational classroom. But entrepreneurs, we get to learn the same thing on the ground in real life. And believe me, it's much better to learn it in real life. I love what you said. I've never really heard it said that way, Jason. It makes all the sense in the world. Maybe this will be your 5th book that you're going to write about not having a short-term memory. I love that as an entrepreneur. Don't lose your short-term memory when you have a failure. Learn from it, move on, and forget about it. Look through the front glass of your car and not through the rear view mirror. And I love this: dream, plan, take action, and fail. And fail often and fail quickly so that you learn from those failures. And of course, you continue to get better. And whether it's, any billionaire that you might know or talk to or have read about, or any millionaire or any successful entrepreneur, they have all failed on numerous occasions. Believe me, they have. And even if they don't talk about it, like Jason says, it's behind in the woodwork. And those are the things that have made them successful along the way. So Jason, this is really remarkable to have you on the show. I know you've only been able to cut out a certain amount of time. I've been waiting to get you on the show because I love this idea of the small business recovery specialist. It's really important right now. It's a B2B expertise that you've been able to develop over years and years of doing work and being a professional golfer, writing a multitude of books, failing at many businesses, being very successful at GALXEE with all your clients over the past 4 or 5 years, and then putting this opportunity out there where you're allowing people, business owners, to contact you, to talk to you, and then, of course, giving them this very unique selling proposition with this guarantee that I'm sure you'd be more than happy to talk to them about when they call you. So it's really a nice, neat package that you've been able to put together. It's really, really an awesome opportunity for companies to reach out to a specialist and an expert like you to get some time to shoot it around with you and see what your company and your team of experts can do for them with this guarantee. I love it so much. It was really exciting when I read this. I said, wow, I need to get Jason on the phone because this is very unique. You don't see this unique selling proposition positioned this way very often in business. And it's just amazing what you've put out into the universe. And I know that it's going to continue to not only bring you amazing rewards, but more importantly, it's going to bring amazing rewards for the clients that contact you at GALXEE and reach out and talk to you. I wanted to thank you so much, Jason, for coming on the show. I've been waiting for a number of weeks to get you here, and this is just really very unique, very special, and congratulations on your offering. And thank you so much for coming on the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Thank you very much, Andy. I appreciate it. And the last thing I'll say is that we have the most fun at GALXEE as well, too.